My name is John Ross from The Art of Retouching Studio. In this video, we're going to be talking about the different ways I have found to help you succeed as a freelancer. Many of these come from my own personal experiences. Not only have I stayed very busy during the past decade, I stayed absolutely slammed throughout the entire pandemic. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the main ways that you can succeed as a freelancer. But please stay with me till the end of this video, because I will be rapidly firing off a ton of useful and actionable items. If you find that you like this video, please be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. I haven't had a regular day job in over a decade. Unfortunately, the sad thing about working as a freelancer is that thanks to the word free, people often think that your work that you do is low cost. In their mind, they're doing you the favor by keeping you busy and helping you grow your portfolio so you can start making some real money. This mindset completely undervalues your work. It forces you to spend all of your time underpaid. If you could only break out of the low profit slump that you find yourself in, then maybe you can start living a more prosperous life. The problem is that I always felt as though my price was way too high. After all, I didn't want to pay those prices, so nobody else wanted to either. Boy, was I wrong. Let's start talking about how a successful freelance mindset will not only change people's attitude towards you, it will help you get the respect that you deserve. These actionable items coming up can provide you with the steady work that you need and keep you earning money for the rest of your days. Number 1, a quiet place to work. As a freelancer, you probably work out of a home office. It's best if you can set a daily schedule for yourself that everyone around you can expect and respect. When I was 18, my mom always thought I was sitting in my room playing video games on the computer. I was. At 40, my wife thought the same thing. I wasn't. Today, my family knows that when the door to my office is closed, I'm working. Like everyone else, I spend the evening time with my family. My wife and child expect it, and so do my clients. Number 2, finding work. Being a freelancer doesn't mean that you can slack off. On the contrary, there are hundreds of other hopefuls just like you, or worse, more talented than you. The only difference between the successful freelancers and the failed ones is how much effort they put into their work. So, be proactive, get out there, look for work and ace it. After all, there's really no such thing as a free lunch. So how can you expect work to come to you if you don't get off the couch and start taking action? I have a whole other video on this topic, but you need to get yourself steady clients. They will bring in the regular work so that you can pay your bills. The downside is that they are usually the ones that you charge the least. If they give you 20 hours a week, you can't charge them $80 an hour. But at only $20 an hour, you're going to be financially miserable. To compensate, you need the once or twice a year clients. They're the ones that you can charge the higher rate to. You may agree on a fixed rate, but the faster you complete the task, the more you will be paid for your time. Number 3, making money. Where I live, the cost of living is high, mainly taxes. So realistically, a comfortable living is close to $40 an hour for a 40-hour work week. People with a baseline education and/or desired skills can expect to make roughly $18 to $25 an hour. If I had a day job, this is where I would fit in. For the past 20 years, I've charged between $65 and $150 per hour for computer repair. My clients pay whatever I ask because they've been with me for so many years. They're willing to pay so that they can continue getting the same results they've come to expect. The thing is, by being a freelancer, you have no idea where the next dollar is coming from. And it makes it very hard to budget and pay bills. Sometimes you may go weeks or months without making what you hope to. But knowing this can really help you save money during the good times so you have something to fall back on during the hard times. To do this, you need to get your finances in order. Setting up a bank, PayPal, and other online accounts means that by the end of the job, you're ready to submit your invoices with your payment options. In fact, I kid you not, as I finished typing that sentence, my phone binged to let me know that I had a deposit from a client I invoiced a few hours ago. Making it easy for them to pay makes it all the sooner that you will be paid. If you want to learn more about how you can learn to budget as a freelancer, I have another YouTube channel for that. It can help you finance on a budget. I'll have more about it at the end of this video. Link is in the description below. Number 4, keep an open mind. No, this doesn't mean that you should go ahead and make rash decisions without thinking about the consequences. It simply means that you should keep your passions burning. You should be open to new ideas, new opportunities, and new explorations. Never restrict yourself within the confines of what's familiar, or you will never grow as a freelance artist. Let that thirst for knowledge drive you to experiment with new techniques and grow with a dynamic industry. You don't want to be known as the guy who applies a lens flare to everything and calls it a day, do you? Someone once called me a Luddite. I didn't know what that meant at the time. It was a British term. At its core, it means someone that is stuck in their old way of doing things. They said that I refused to try new ideas. After they insulted me with that, I learned everything I possibly could about Photoshop and retouching. I read dozens of books and watched hundreds of videos. Once I collected all that valuable information, I created my online Photoshop course that can be found at www.theartofretouching.com. No one can claim that I'm closed-minded anymore. Number 5, tweaking is learning. Never stop improving yourself and never stop learning. Even as you revisit your old work, you might be surprised at how much you can learn from it. While it's safe to stick to one signature style all the time, it will never help you improve as an artist. When I've pulled up old jobs from 5 to 10 years ago, I cringe when I look at the structure of my Photoshop files. At the time, they made perfect sense, but that was before I used smart objects and designed proper layering techniques. Your old work will never be as good as your new work. Evolution is natural, don't overthink it. I recently started recreating my old video content. Did I do it wrong the first time? Not in my perspective back then, but now I felt that tearing it all apart and starting over was worth it to me. Sure, I wish I had done it right the first time, but live and learn. That's my point. Number 6, keep your eyes on the prize. The trick of this one is to actually know what the prize is. What is your goal? If you're working on your laptop while at a coffee shop, there will always be something to see as your thoughts drift away as soon as you look up. If you're working at home, the distractions can be even worse. Not to mention, it's difficult to resist the inviting call of Facebook or YouTube. But this video is okay. It's educational. This is where your focus comes in. Are you disciplined enough to hone in on your responsibilities? By focusing in on the most important issues you need to solve, you'll be able to submit a higher quality work to your client. My son started homeschooling last year. My wife thought I was being a terrible teacher. I gave him a stack of books and told him to do the next chapter. It was hard at first, because sitting down in his room led to distractions, and he had a hard time getting started on his own. Soon after, he started working in the dining room with the door closed. He got into a routine of doing schoolwork from 8 a.m. until he finished. If he stayed focused, he was done by noon. If he was distracted, it took him until 3. Soon, he broke it up throughout the day. The only thing that mattered to me was the 8:30 deadline when I would go over the schoolwork with him. This behavior gradually installed the good habits needed to be a self-starter, doing research on his own and solving his own problems. You see, I wasn't being a crappy teacher. I just made him work for it, for you. My best advice is to establish a baseline time per task. For me, a portrait or lifestyle image is going to take me 20 minutes to retouch and 10 minutes of file maintenance, retrieval, archival, etc. Multiple people in the shot will take an extra 10 minutes each. Is this accurate? Sure, if I target it. I have a kitchen timer on my desk and I start it when I begin working. When the clock says I'm done, then I'm done. I never overwork it and I never go over budget. Number 7, subtle is best. When you do your best work, no one will ever know you've done anything at all. This means you don't need to modify every detail. Sometimes the less you do, the better. What's the difference between an amateur and professional work? The amateur would go crazy with details, while the professional would simply stick to the simplest adjustments that yield the best results. So keep it simple. Use the most subtle adjustments that are barely there. Think about the movie Star Wars. I was watching them again with my 8-year-old son. Episodes 1 through 3 he watched and had nothing to say. When he watched episode 4 from 1977, he had no problem adjusting his mind to all the practical effects. Not a single complaint out of him until we hit the remake in 1997, showing when they went to Mos Eisley. That's when the remastered special effects kicked in, adding in all the crap no one thought was even missing. They looked terrible and obvious. Even my child noticed. The moral of the story is, don't overwork your masterpiece. Do what you're there to do, and just move on. If you remove every pore, the subject stops looking real. Number 8, be everything to everyone. For the most financial success, do different things, not just one. It's called diversification. Photographers know that when they call me, I can resolve any problem that they have. I know every program, I do retouching, computer repair, website development, and general studio management. I've built a niche of supporting many different photographers. Even if you specialize in just retouching, you should be good at doing portraits, products, architecture, etc. Some I work with daily, some monthly, some once or twice a year. But the thing is, they keep coming back for quality results. No, it isn't glamorous, it's steady. That's more important. I promised you rapid fire success tips, right? Okay, here goes. Number 1, don't get stuck performing the same task the whole day. Chances are your creativity will run thin after a while, you will get bored and perform poorly. Number 2, learn to say no. Don't overstretch what you're capable of doing and fall into the trap of saying yes to every new job. If what they ask you to do falls outside of your particular area of expertise or interest, politely decline. I turn down work nearly every day. Number 3, if you've never worked with a client before, charge them half up front. It will save you from being burned. Or, even better, once I had a website development meeting for 45 minutes. At the end, I asked for half up front. They paid me, and I never heard from them again. Number 4, when applicable, ask for a retainer. This is where they may only use you once in a while, but the retainer means that you will still fix their problem right away. I've had a free rock climbing gym membership for years. Number 5, I hate people that are ready, aim, 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 aim. I'm more of a ready, fire, aim type of person. I figure it out as I go. As I always say, make a plan, execute the plan goes off the rails, make a new plan. It's quicker and easier to figure it out as you go than it is to get stuck with the procrastination. So get out there and just do it. Number 6, set yourself a daily working schedule. Get into the mindset of being at work, not at home. It's crucial to your own success. Number 7, find some time for yourself to unwind and relax. I tried drawing again to relax. A week later, I started 2 YouTube channels instead. I need to be going at 100%, full throttle, baby. Number 8, why do you want to be a freelancer? When you're struggling to find clients, or a client hasn't paid, or when it feels like everything is falling apart, your why will stop you from quitting and going back to a day job. Number 9, plans only work when you act on them. So give yourself a to-do list and deadlines. Number 10, you have to set your goals far outside your comfort zone and allow yourself to grow into those goals. Don't set them based on who you are now, because this instantly limits your potential. Before you go, earlier I mentioned that I had a second YouTube channel about managing your money as a freelancer. It's called Finance on a Budget. It's filled with stories about my own financial challenges and actionable items to help you make your money work for you. You can find a link in the description below. I hope you found this video helpful. Please go to www.theartofretouching.com where you can find more tips and tricks to make you a better photo retoucher.